And then
Hey
she asked
there,
why
beer.
there's so many.
Shut up, Greg. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101, the 40th episode of Beer Analysis 101. And I have got a special treat for you tonight. We decided to go all out and get ourselves a nice corked bottle of beer. Unfortunately, a couple of people had to back out at the last minute, so we are down like 2 or 3 people. And we've got 4 people on the panel tonight. But at least we got some of the good ones. We got we got Greg here tonight. How you doing tonight, Greg?
I'm one of the good ones. We have it on
I know.
tape.
I messed up. Sorry. How are you doing tonight?
I'm looking forward to having this almost $11 bottle of Saison. I don't want to spend any money on Saison, but you made me do it, Nick. And for you,
yeah,
I guess I begrudgingly did it.
And you know what? I actually forgot with all the confusion tonight. This is the beer we're doing tonight. We're doing Ommegang's Hennepin Saison Ale, which was the first Saison brewed in America.
Oh boy, how exciting!
Yep. Jamie's got one too. How you doing tonight? Tonight, Jamie?
I'd hope we all have one.
Doing good. It's fitting
all
that
right.
There's only 4 of us, so 10 each that we're clearly going to give it 40. It's going to be a 40 out of.
That,
right.
That sounds about right.
10 out of 10.
It's like drinking a 40.
Math humor.
Yep. Right. Anyway, and last but certainly not least, we got Ash. How you doing tonight?
Doing great, thanks. As I've always said, it's all about quality over quantity, and with that regards, we are 3 for 4. With the
Good point. Yeah.
How are you, Nick?
Don't talk that way about Nick.
Nobody ever asked me that. I am doing just fine. I just got home from work about half an hour ago, so that's why we're a little late starting. But yeah, I'm excited for tonight's beer, and I'd better be because this sucker was fucking expensive here in New Brunswick. We'll go into that later. Let's read up the beer history on Ommegang. So the brewery Ommegang was founded in 1997 in Cooperstown, New York, by husband and wife duo Don Feinberg and Wendy Littlefield. Feinberg and Littlefield at the time were owners of Vanberg and De Wolf, a Belgian beer import company that started in 1982 by Feinberg. With the assistance of Duvel Morgat and 2 other Belgian breweries, Ommegang was built a purpose-built Belgian-style farmhouse on a former 136-acre hop farm in the Susquehanna River Valley, 4 miles south of Cooperstown. Ommegang, named after a medieval festival that takes place every July in Brussels, was founded as the first American brewery designed to brew exclusively Belgian beers. Ommegang opened in the fall of 1997 with the first beer, Ommegang Abbey Ale, a Belgian-style double. In 2003, as the 2 of the Belgian breweries that helped start Ommegang had been absorbed by larger corporations. As a result, Feinberg and Littlefield sold the remaining shares to Duvel Morgat, the makers of the world-famous dual ale. Greg, can you mute yourself? In spite of this, Ommegang grew rapidly. By 2005, they were unable to meet demand and increased their capacity by 40%, during which time Duvel Morgat stepped in and assisted with capacity and brewing some beer in Belgium through 2006 during the upgrade, and they haven't brewed it since, apparently. Most recently, the most recent update from Ommegang is that on June 2018, literally 2 weeks ago, Ommegang finally opened their $2 million brewery expansion, which includes a canning line and an on-site cafe, and they're starting to branch out in other styles of beer, too. So the other main beers from Ommegang are, of course, their Abbey Ale Double, the Rare Voss, which is a Belgian cafe-style amber ale, the Wit, which is their wit beer, and 3 Philosophers, which I've had a couple of times, which is a quad with Leafman's Creek added. They also brew beers like from the Game of Thrones series, which includes beers like Valor Magulus, Fire and Blood, Three-Eyed Raven. Most recent ones in that series have been the Hand of the Queen barley wine, which I have a bottle of back there, and the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms blonde sour. So they got a beer for Cersei. Anyway, let's get down to what Hennepin is. Ommegang Hennepin is a 7.7% ABV Belgian-style Saison, brewed with Pilsner and pale malt. Tongue twister. Pale malt, shouldn't be hard to say. Styrian Golding and Spalter Select hops. and spiced with ginger, coriander, orange peel, and grains of paradise. Named after Father Louis Hennepin, a French missionary and explorer who was the first European to lay eyes on Niagara Falls in 1677. Hennepin was one of Ommegang's first beers from late 97, early 98, and has won a number of awards, including gold at the 2004 Great American Beer Fest for Belgian-style Saison, and gold at the 2007 European Beer Star in the spiced beer category. So it's got some worldwide awards, which I don't know. Anyway, so moving right along, let's get into histories. And considering I'm going to guess that people's history here, because we're all Canadian, is limited with Ommegang Hennepin. Let's go with histories of Ommegang in general. Greg, what's your history with Ommegang?
My history with Ommegang by Greg. I have enjoyed Three Philosophers and Game of Thrones Valor Margulis. Also, I enjoyed the Nirvana IPA. It was very good. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me that condescending history on Ommegang, Greg. Anyway, Jamie, what's your history with Ommegang? Do you have one?
I've had the Three Philosophers. It was rated 4.25 out of 5 on Untapped by moi. Yeah, it was good. I only bought it the one time and liked the cherry essence of it. And the Hennepin Saison Ale, you didn't hear me pop it because I had already opened it right before this hangout. I had a little sip. So I've had some of this beer about 10 minutes before this hangout. That's about it.
Oh, you're cheating.
Yeah, I did cheat.
Uncool.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And it's YouTube, so it doesn't matter. So
you're really. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna get Saison all over my desk. All right.
That's actually the reason I popped it, because I just totally saw myself just having foam all over my computer. Now
that's not Saison.
It's actually pouring really nice for Saison. Like, I mean, there's the head now, but anyway, we're off topic. Thanks, Jamie. And Ash, what's your history with Ommegang?
I have no history whatsoever.
Really?
I see their beers all the well, not all the time, but every so often they come up with their seasonal Game of Thrones offerings, which I've never really pulled the trigger on. But yeah, other than that, I've had plenty of saisons, but I've just never had anything from Ommegang in general. So it's a first for me. Hey,
cool. My history with Ommegang, I've had 3 of the beers from the three. I'm trying to get that finger. It doesn't look like 4. Technically, I've had 4, but 3 beers from the Game of Thrones series, and I've also had 3 Philosophers. I've actually done a review of 3 Philosophers on my my channel, dating back from when Chad sent me a bottle with it. It was like 2012, 2013, something like that. And I remember really liking the 3 Philosophers. As for the other Ommegangs, the Game of Thrones series, I've had Valor Margulis, I've had Fire and Blood, and I've had the Three-Eyed Raven. And the Three-Eyed Raven, I thought was the one I liked the best. That was that Dark Saison. And I gave that one a 4.25. I gave the 3 Philosophers, I gave that a 4.5. I thought that one was great, but the other ones were just sort of in the middle of the road. I'm hoping this one's going to be quite a bit better. I've never had Hennepin, but I've heard the name numerous times over the years, especially from the likes of like Average Joe talking about. I know I'd heard Hennepin, the term of the beer, and I just never knew this was it. As soon as this showed up on the shelf, I mean, I kind of at first balked at the price, but then I thought this would be a great beer analysis 101 for number 20 or for episode 40, considering that the people in Ontario can get it. And then half the people backed out. So speaking of people, let's go down to the comments. Right. Let's go to the comments and see who's there. Anybody want to do the reading other than Greg?
I got it. Don't worry. I got this taken care of, Nick.
Yeah, you start making nervous of yourself. Well,
No. There'll be none of that. We're very serious for 40th episode. Okay, Maxwell Star says, waiting on people. Bylog says, what is next week's beer?
Talk about that later. Somebody else has to ask for it.
Yeah, can you relax? Don't be an asshole. I'm talking to Bylog, by the way. He's a jerk. Kent Beer Reviews says, "Hey brothers." Kent Beer Reviews also says, "Quick show for us poor fools." No, we're going to stretch this out. Doesn't matter if we only have 4 people. Rod J says, "Cheers, guys," and cheers specifically to Craig. Okay. Kent Beer says, "Hey, Rob, pissed, but good, LOL." I don't know if that means he's pissed drunk or if he's angry. Hopefully he'll chime in and tell us. Clueless Drinker says, "Hello, gentlemen." Kent Beer Reviews says,
Peter?
"Pissed on no deal, too." I don't know what that means.
Okay.
The Raining on Your Parade, our good friend, says, "Got the corked and caged bottle, 750 milliliters, $7.99. I assume that's US. Nick is going to hate me. Have not had this in a long time. Looking forward to cracking it. It is bottle conditioned, so don't be stupid and pour the yeast in."
I'm not going to hate you for that. I've never even had this beer.
Yeah. Plus, I don't have mine doesn't have anything at the bottom. So, Kent Beer Review says, "Hey, Peter," and he says, "Hi, Raining on my long parade." To which Raining on Parade says, "Yo, dogs." And Kent Beer Reviews says, "My snoring woke me up." Okay, sure, why not? Then Rajay says, "Who doesn't like a cherry essence?" Did anyone mention cherry essence, or is he just kind of talking about cherry essence? Anyways, Kent Beer says, "Peter, I'm going to crack that cloud water extract. That okay." Okay, guys, you guys need to move this to like a private Facebook chat. This is a public forum. We're discussing this beer. Come on, let's be serious here. Nick, back to you.
Right. Anyway, yeah, well, if that's all the comments there are for now, let's go over to some thoughts, and we'll go right back to Craig. So there.
I'm not used to being at the beginning. I need someone else to talk so I can copy their opinion.
You want me to start at the back and then move ahead?
No. I got this. So you know what? Oh, I swallowed too hard. I don't normally like saisons. It's actually a style I normally quite dislike. But this one is actually made sort of in a more traditional Belgian style. It actually, I would hesitate to guess that this one is actually made with proper Belgian yeast. I could be wrong, but that's just my guess. And it is really, really good. I quite like it. It's kind of, it's almost like I'd say more akin to a Dubel or a Tripel. And yeah, I really like it. I'm not going to give you tasting notes. It's very Belgian-y to me, but I really like this. I would say for style rating, when it comes to saisons, I'd say this is easy at 10 out of 10 because this is a great beer. If all saisons were like this, I would like them a lot more. And this is probably as good as I've had. For my own personal rating, I'm not going to go quite as high, but 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. I really like it.
Well, that's just special.
Yeah. Now it's not MGD good, but it's still very
No, it's not. But yeah, let's move along to Jamie. See what you think since you've been drinking it longer than the rest of us.
I also like it. Thank you. Oh, do you want more?
Well, you can elaborate.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually a really good beer. It's refreshing. I was actually not really looking forward to paying the whatever it was, $12 for this beer, and probably not liking it. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised. It's nice. It has a nice, it's kind of like a appley, lemony taste to it, or essence. I'll use essence for Rajay. Appley, lemony essence. That I don't know if it's the ginger or the alcohol that you taste right when you first take a sip. It's kind of strong, but also at the end, it leaves kind of like that ginger beer feeling in your throat, and it is really refreshing. It's a nice beer. I don't really know what to say for style. I'm going to say I'll say an 8. Because I don't really know. I'm totally guessing. But for my personal preference, I think I'll give it a 8.75. It's highly enjoyable, and I'm happy that I bought it.
Very nice.
And it's all because of you, Nick.
Oh, isn't that just special? Yeah, and certainly not least here, and I've said that already probably 3 times on this channel, or on this thing tonight. Man, Ash, what's your thoughts?
Pull it together, young man.
Long day at work.
So yeah, you know what? I'm rather enjoying this quite a bit. I'll dive a little bit into the tasting notes, what I'm getting out of it. Getting some pepper on the nose, getting some lemon, getting a touch of that ginger as well. If I dig really deep into it, I'm also picking up a little bit of like a sweet orange rind as well, which is nice. On the sip, I'm getting everything that I would want out of a Saison, something very effervescent on the tongue. On the sip, it really coats the entire tongue all the way back to the palate with that nice aggressive carbonation, which probably comes from the proper yeast that was used. I think on the back of the bottle, it describes it as being like champagne-like, which is pretty much spot on for what a Saison should be. Let's see what else. The malt body, it's pretty delicate graininess, but it has a really nice drying finish that sort of pairs well with like the earthy bitterness that it has. Again, with this type of style, it's just supposed to be a culmination of a lot of nice notes, like a nice dryness, refreshing lemon notes, pretty much anything that you want to get out of a Saison, something that's supposed to be served relatively cold and supposed to be a nice thirst quencher. It pretty much hits on all notes. The only fault I found in it, when I initially poured it, I gave myself a very small pour just to see how it would taste when it warmed up a little bit in the hand, and I found that on that last sip from that small pour I got, you got a little bit of a burn, from the alcohol, which, depending on what type of Saison you want, the Saisons, they run the whole gamut. You can get a 3.5, you can get something as high as an 8.5. So it really depends on what type of Saison you tend to prefer. I would probably prefer something a little bit more in the middle that's not as high in alcohol as this, and that would limit the burn that you get as it warms. But you know what? This is a great beer. I enjoy this quite a bit. I'm very happy you chose it as today's beer, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have picked it up, because I tend to shy away from some of these bigger 750 ml bottles just with the price point alone. So on style point for a Saison, again, it hit all the notes I want from a Saison, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And for personal enjoyment, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. I enjoy this.
Wow. Very nice. I'm glad somebody liked it. It was really kind of hard to get people in here apparently this week, but yeah, I gotta say this is actually really, really solid for a beer. The tasting notes that I wrote down here as I was drinking it, found it was a little sweet. It was a bit bready, had a nice lemon tartness on the tip of the tongue. You get pear and white grape, bubblegum. You get a little bit of ginger. Comes off with a drying yeasty finish and also coriander. It is well carbonated, just like you were saying there, Ash. It's effervescent, but it's not like super bubbly. The carbonation is good, but I find the body is very heavy on this one. I'm finding this thing drinking a little heavier than I really want from a Saison. And yeah, I get it. Saisons can run the gamut, but when it comes to a Saison, I kind of like mine a little bit more drinkable, like more like a summer crusher, like the traditional Saison. So yeah, it drinks more like a triple that I found than a Saison. I kind of want the Saison lighter. So for the style, I'm going to give it a 7, just because I think it's very, very good, very, very well made. But maybe I had different expectations for the Saison style. But I do really enjoy this, and I'm definitely going to finish the bottle of this because it's absolutely delicious. So overall, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty nice. I love this. And just out of curiosity, before we move over to the comments, and maybe some people in the comments want to mention this, but this sucker was absolutely expensive here. This thing cost me like $16.39 or something crazy. But I think it's like in Ontario it was like $10.30. How much was it where you guys are?
I think ours was $10.30, $10.40, something in that range.
I thought it was a little bit higher. I could be completely wrong, but that's why we have apps on our phone, because we're retards.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it being under $11, but kind of fairly close to it.
Yeah, like your shelf prices when you go to the liquor store, that's not shelf price plus tax. It's just the shelf price, right?
Yeah, ours is there's no tax on top of it because they already hide all the tax in it. Realistically, this is like a $3 beer that they just tax to death. Sorry, Ashley, what is it?
$10.35.
$10.35.
I'm trying to bring up the NB Liquor site now, but it's loading slow.
Which really, for this quality of beer, I have no problem paying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I expected a lot less from this beer, but yeah, I would pay $10.35 for it again.
And yeah, Nick, to your point about it drinking like a triple, I would say the only difference being, this is definitely has a drier finish versus that sweet finish that a triple would have. But the weight of it, like how it, the mouthfeel is very reminiscent of that. I would agree.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say that I would want from a triple that this doesn't have is I don't get really any banana from this. And when I get a good triple, I want a lot of banana. I like the banana.
As it's warming up, I get it on the nose, a bit of the banana. Don't really get it on the taste.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I do get the bubble gum big time out of this.
Again, I think I agree with Jamie. I get it on the nose. I don't think I taste it. And frankly, I didn't realize this had ginger in it, and because I personally don't taste any ginger in it, but
I think I do. Yeah, I mean, I do get the ginger. It's like it's got like a little bit of finish in the back where it's like this, almost like ginger snap cookie. But I think the only reason I'm thinking, I think the only reason I'm thinking ginger is because I read it on the bottle or during the beer history. Or
I got it before I read, and also when I first tried it before reading the bottle, I got clove, but there's no clove in it, so I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaking clove with what is it? Coriander. So
clove and coriander can sometimes be similar.
Yeah. What did I see? Someone that's like there's like a genetic reason why coriander would. Some people it tastes different. To me, I almost get like that's like a spicy, soapy kind of note.
Yeah, well, that's where I have to get some more experience and actually buy some cloves and coriander and actually smell them and try them. It just came up as clove in my brain.
All right, we might as well move over some comments while we're getting ready for the ratings to be ready. Although I do want to warn people that our graphic designer this week's on vacation, so he's they'll have to settle for from special artwork that was sent in by a fan who appears to be on this channel right now. All right, so let's go back to the comments.
Okay, so on last episode of comments, Kent and Peter were having a private Facebook chat about a beer. Let's see how it goes on. Clueless Wanker says, "Of course, man. Enjoy. May crack mine open tomorrow," referring to Cloud Water X track. Kent says, "Okay, dude, there will be others." That sounds like a threat. And this says, "This beer looks great. Any decent malt base to it?" I don't know. Is there a decent malt base to it? Anyone?
It would be as expected for a Saison. Nothing crazy.
As expected. There we go. Rain on Your Parade said, "It is okay. It would be much better after it sits for a couple of years. It is 7.7 ABV, and when the spices die a little, it should be a winner. Years ago, I would have gone Ommegang over Allagash, but Allagash has stepped up the main line and have lots of special releases, and they are expensive. I would rather go for Allagash." Okay.
I've had a
Rod
couple
J
of
says,
Allagash before. They've been pretty solid.
So Rod J, in a brutal attack on Nick, says, "Come on, Nick, muscle up on the Saison." Whoa. He just called you.
Like, lift and then...
He just called you out, Nick.
Yeah, whatever.
Raining on Your Parade says $7.99 here. Please don't hate me, Nick. You already said that. Stop trying to make Nick hate you. Nick likes everyone. He's very friendly.
But now I picked up on the whole hate thing. Why would I understand it would be really cheap down there. But that is about double the markup on what we get here in New Brunswick. It's fucking.
But I was gonna say, I'm assuming that's $7.99 US. So I mean, really, we're not talking that big of a price difference. I know.
Yeah, well, not for the Ontario price, but the New Brunswick price of $16.29. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a bit of a markup.
Yeah,
for sure. And then here we go. Rajay says, "Cheers, Raining. That would be about the same here." We know that's a lie, Rod. You'd take away the 7 and just keep the 99. That would be what you'd pay for it. Raining says,
J. Deal.
Raining says, yo, Rod. Lee Russell, with a wrench beside his name, meaning he's special, says, I enjoyed this video production. Very professional. Well, thank you, Lee. For someone like you to say that, who has a worldwide renowned podcast, they must be destroyed on site. That's great to hear from you. And then Kemp Beer says, $7.99 expensive RJ deal. Exactly. Rajay says, sitting on the Abbey Ale, Hand of the Queen, Nomageddon, and 3 philosophers in the cellar. You got to drink some of your beer, my friend. Then P.A.
Rajay got that 4-pack for $6.
That's right. That sounds about, well, $6, taxes included. P.A. Brew News says, so far my least enjoyed brew from the brewery. So, way to put a cloud over this 40th special episode. Yeah. Make Nick feel very bad about his selection. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, well,
we know it was a touch thin.
Yeah. Well, he could have come on here and actually talked about it, but I know he was with his family in Gettysburg.
Well, Paul would do it the same way he did. He does his movie review podcast, where he had it 15 years ago and he's just going by memory.
Yeah, it might be a different beer now. Speaking of what Roger just said about how he's got the, I noticed you said you got the Nomageddon. How is the Nomageddon anyway? Because that was the other one that showed up here with the Hennepin. But that's completely off topic. And I believe that we have the, well, actually, it's not completely off topic. This is about Ommegang. But we do have the ratings now, thanks to our guest artist, which happens to be Jamie. Thank you for the graphics tonight. And we've got our ratings here. Anybody want to do a drum roll? No. All right. Overall, yay! Ommegang Hennepin. We've got Ommegang Hennepin.
Yeah. Why didn't you use that one? That's the worst one I made.
I don't know. I could have gone with the. Yeah. So
you have to show the other one now.
Yeah, all right. I'll show the other one in a second. But yeah, we really like this. 8.5 for style, 8.5 overall. And now Jamie wants me to show the other one. Just a second.
I have a question. Is that thing on the left side, is that some sort of genitalia?
No, it's not genitalia.
Okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong if it is. It's just
beer.
Right. Any more comments, by the way? I'm bringing up Jamie's.
Well, let's have a look. Nope. Looks like Paul's is the last comment.
All right. Any just thoughts?
Wait. Rajay just comes in with a comment. I haven't drank any of them yet, but my favorite thus far is their smoked porter. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't usually like smoked beers, so I probably wouldn't like their smoked porter. But you never know. I might. Is it weird that I love Islay whiskeys, but I don't like smoked beers?
Now this will be the thumbnail for the video.
There we go.
That's
Greg drinking.
That's definitely Greg drinking. Let's see.
That is Greg drinking.
There we go. This will be maybe the thumbnail for review for first time on YouTube.
I'm glad we got the first review on YouTube.
You have to present.
My bottle looks different. Oh yeah, let's hit present. And everybody can get the a good look at it. Get all the classics here.
At least it's the very first time with this bottle on YouTube, because none of them appear to have this bottle.
Man, how old is Hopson's bottle of this? Or Daniel? Wow, they get some old bottles of this.
Those are like 6 years old.
Yeah. And in smaller bottles too. I would have liked. See that? I think this is something I would enjoy in like a small bottle like that. Anyway, yeah. So, Hennepin sounds like it was a hit here.
Not quite MGD. That should be the quote. That should be what you take from this review.
Right.
Oh,
no, I think at this price point I wouldn't want to buy this again, but if I could find it cheaper or a better value, I find that Ommegang makes some real solid stuff.
Yeah, $16 would be really pushing it for me, but $10-11, it's a 750 milliliter bottle. I would personally like it to be a little higher in alcohol, but that's just me. But I wouldn't. I don't think I'd rush out to buy it again at almost $11 a bottle, but I would not be opposed to buying another bottle of this.
I'd certainly buy one a year type of thing. maybe a couple a year.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. 1 or 2 a year, just like Jamie. I'm good to go.
Yeah, if it was something you could get in smaller bottles in 4 or 6 packs, I'd certainly buy it a few times.
Well, that was kind of be my thing. If I could buy it for like $7 or $8 a bottle in like a 650 or something, I would probably buy this on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
I quite like this. Because
in general, a beer like this, I like to have a little bit of it and then go on to something else. Whereas a big bottle like this, it's an investment.
Like this is something like you want to. Like this is something that I would actually like save for a while and then share with friends at a party or on New Year's or something. Just crack open and not be the only one drinking it, because I like it'd be something I'd want other people to try at the same time. Yeah.
This would be something beer that would be good for this would be good for like a bottle share beer. I think.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Mr. Klizak would find burn in this, because I don't think there's any alcohol in this whatsoever. But.
Oh, it's got too much ginger.
No, that's true.
Ginger. Anyway, moving right along. Any last comments in there? I see drunken ones in the chat.
Yes, we do actually. So, good old Lee Russell says Jamie looks really pleased with himself.
It should be. It was excellent artwork tonight.
I think that's just like Jamie's resting face. That's just, he always looks pleased with himself. Earth, our good friend Earth, says, I found the rating board on point. I agree. Camp Beer Review says Hop Zine is thin. I don't know what that is, but okay, good to know.
One of the guys in Jamie's picture.
Okay. Drunken One says, here's the party. Hi, gang.
Hey, Drunken One.
Rajay says, cheers, Earth and Drunken. Drunken says, is that Greg's chin? Are they talking about me, or are they talking about the other Greg? Is there another Greg in? I don't know.
No, but
was there any Gregs in that photo? I don't know. I know there's a Greg.
Maybe from that angle he is thinking of kids or something.
I've got I don't know if my chin's just a regular chin. It's good old Greg chin. Drunken One says, "Hey Rod." Kent Beer Reviews says, "Hi Drunk, Earth, Lee, etc." Ray on Your Parade says, "If I buy it again, it will have to sit for 2 years before I would open it." Good for you. You're a man with standards. And Earth says, cheers, all. That's it.
Cheers, Earth. Cheers, buddy. Anyway, I think we're getting to the point where we need to start moving into the after chat. But has anybody got any final thoughts about Ommegang Hennepin before we leave?
Fine choice for number 40, sir.
Awesome.
And to 40 more.
So. Yeah. Tonight. Hopefully we can find 40 more tonight.
20 more tonight.
And we're going to wait here just a little longer until somebody asks what next week's beer is. Anybody
we're actually all going to age Hennepin for 2.5 months, and then that'll be the number 50 beer.
I already assume that LCBO has already aged this beer for a while. I mean, my best before date is 11/27/2019. Can I assume that it was released in when would that be released? I don't know how far ahead they do the best before dates. Was that released on 11/17/17?
If we're going a year, yeah, probably.
Well, it'll be 2 years because this is 19.
Oh, good point. Shit. Yeah, fuck out of
it. Read Kent's comment there, Greg. What's next week's beer?
Next week's beer is ? And we go up and says, Lee Russell says, what's next? And Rainier Perez, lower the prices in Canada. And Kent says, next week's beer. So 3 out of the 4 of those comments ask what next week's beer is.
In honor of July 4th being next Wednesday, we're going to do the King of Beers.
In honor of the King of YouTube, Lee Russell, we will be doing the King of Beer. And hopefully the King of YouTube can join us for the King of Beer.
We're actually going to do it. We're going to go drain pour some Budweiser.
Well, hey, we've clearly jumped the shark. So
listen,
we're doing
fellas. Blood. Oh, geez, wow, he really got offended.
He's all right.
I can already tell you guys 100% spoilers for next week's episode because we've already filmed it.
Oh, we're going offline.
It's better than Wilson Canadian.
All right, we're gonna head out. We'll start up with on after chat in a second. Hopefully, Jamie will come back. I'm sorry we are doing Budweiser, but that's just how things are. All right,
Cheers.
Later.
Penis.